Hey, good evening, solar YouTubers. Today's Sunday, November 29th of 2025. There's the star of the show. I think she's out of heat. She's only heat for a few days. That's unusual. Okay, have an issue here. It just happened. It just happened. I heard my VEVOR click, right? So if you go to it, it's blinking. It just clicked back on. I don't know if you guys heard that or not with my voice. So it clicked. It wasn't. You had a fan jump up. That's because it is. Hold on here. Let me. It's charging. Okay, so it's running off the battery for some reason. Yeah, everything looks good. Input. There's nothing going into the battery. So I just heard a click. I heard a click a while ago. I thought it was cat doing something. I just came looking around and I saw that the battery wasn't charged. That blinking light is the battery. It wasn't charged. I'm like, well, that's kind of weird. Didn't think nothing about it. So I'm on the computer and I hear another clicking sound. At that point, I realized what the clicking sound was. It was this, when this kicks over from the grid to the batteries or solar, when that kicks over, it makes a pretty good clicking sound. Like I said, I don't know if you guys heard that. So it clicked off and was running off the battery for a few seconds. All right, so at this point, I don't know why that would go off grid into the battery option to run my load. It's still plugged in, so I have two ideas. One, I had a power surge or a brownout or something, because I have those quite a bit here in this apartment. Or two, the VEVOR is actually breaking down or something. So it's one of those two things. I don't know, but it just kicked off the grid. It run off the batteries. That's fine. But then it kicked back onto the grid and charging up the battery. So I do not know what that means. So like I said, one of two things, that I had a power surge or a brownout, one of the two. I didn't have that light on, and I had my monitors on and my lamp on, but it's the winter time. I'll run my lamp in here. But when I do have brownouts or power surges, whatever, my electronics don't get how can I say it? It doesn't blink or nothing. So I don't know if something with the grid he just didn't like, so it shut off to the inverter, or it's, after a couple months of running straight, it's actually breaking down. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. But I ran that. I'm at 59. Down there, I'm at 54. Haven't had sun in 2 days. So tomorrow afternoon, when I get off, if it's not charged up, then I'm going to charge it up with the charger. I just thought I'd give a quick video on this. And I don't know why it switched off the grid. It was off the grid for about 30 seconds. Then switched back to the grid. And like I said, right now it's literally charging up the batteries. Battery is at 28.2. There is no load. That 17 is my that 17 is my router and modem. Battery is not being charged. Input is AC. At 60 hertz. It says we got 80 volts coming in on the solar. No amps, no watts. Now the input is whatever's charging the battery. As you can see there, that is charging. for some reason, but I have no input on the battery, so I don't know. But it is showing 80 watts. I mean 80 volts. Let's go to this. All right, let's go to the. Cause it's shut down. Cause it was my. I got these 4 lights here on the front here, and these is for my. I don't think it tells you what they are on the outside. Oh yeah, it does. Okay, power, comm, net, and server. Okay, and then the power, comm, net, and server. The net and server was off when everything switched off. Okay, so this is today. We're looking at grid power. Yeah, you see just a jump for some reason, and they're about 3 o'clock. It spiked for some reason with the load. Everything spiked, and that is load is 400, and the grid went to 400. And these little peaks and valleys here is my refrigerator kicking on and off. At about 144, that's about right. But something happened up in here. We had this spike or something. Something happened. So I don't know. Nothing here looks. Let's go to analysis. I don't have an alarm on anything. Nothing. Ooh, I'm tired. Stayed up too late last night. Actually, I didn't, but. Okay, so I have to go in here and select. I want battery percentage. I want grid. And no, that's not showing anything. Why did that shut off? Give me load. Oh, that's battery. Output, output, output. Oh, there's all output. So we got the grid power. Let's have the grid voltage. Yeah, let's take off the battery percent and grid voltage. It won't let you do 2 time on this. Sorry, I wasn't looking at the phone. I was looking at the monitor. I had you guys face down too low. So I got the power and I got the voltage. Okay. So kilowatt power there, voltage. And you see the voltage goes down to 115. You know, kind of spikes. 119. It does drop. And it dropped over here. And I didn't do anything. 116. So I don't know why that switched off the grid and back on and then off for a little bit, back on. I don't know, guys. I just do not know. Still charging up the battery, but the battery is at 28.2. So that's what the battery's sitting at, 28.2. Don't know why it's charging. Batteries are not hot or nothing. It's a mystery, guys. I don't know if you guys have ever messed with anything like this before, or anybody saw this, but wasn't gonna do a video today until first when I heard it click, I thought it was a cat. So when I looked around the corner, you know, when I peeked around the corner here, she was up there napping. So I got up, I came out here, so I thought maybe somebody was at the front door, right? So, I opened the front door and there's nobody there. I'm like, huh, what the hell is that noise? That's like somebody banged on the front door. I sat back down, and not even 10, 15 minutes later, and I remember seeing this like it is right now. And for those of you guys who haven't watched my other videos, this first one right here tells you what you're running off of. Are you running off a grid? If it's a solid light, you're running off the grid. If it's blinking, like the one next to it, that means you're running off a solar or you're running off the batteries. And then the blinking light is your battery status. When it's blinking, it is charging. When it's solid, it is charged. And then I have a third light right there. And that's your red light warning. I have no warning, so nothing happened. I didn't know that my communication was screwed up there. So I wonder if I had a power surge or, well, I'm not seeing nothing. I don't know. And I do have power surges and brownouts quite a bit in this apartment. Well, this whole building does. The whole building. And we got 4 separate meters on this building. And we all have the same deal. So that's telling you that it's somewhere on the line. But see, both lights are solid now, so battery's charged. But Duke Energy wants to tell us that it's not the transformer. Transformer's fine. And I haven't walked around the neighborhood to see because that transformer there, let's see if we can get a peek of it through here. Yeah, here we go. See if I use the phone. Yeah, you see that transformer right there? That is our transformer for this building. And it runs literally across the alley and across the street here, okay? And so it happens all the time that if we are out of power, the area over here still has power. So this is to the north. That's the northwest over there. That's the west over there. So it's very possible that we've done it quite a bit. We've out of power, and they got power over there, and that building gets power because their transformer is right there, and they get their power from the north end. For some reason, our power comes off of that transformer. And so about 3 years ago, I want to say a good 3 years, maybe 4 years, I was out of power for 4 days. Terre Haute got hit by a major storm. Actually hit us. And most of the north end was out of power. I was out of power for this whole area was out for 4 days. Some areas were out for 7. But if you go a few blocks down the road here to the south, to the southwest, I say give 4 blocks, they have power. So yeah, so we had no power, and the issue was right behind, you see that travel camper there. If you just go straight, there's an alley that runs behind, you see that blue building right there? There's an alley that runs behind there, and it runs behind that brown building. And it's an alley that's not really used. It's just there. I mean, it's really overgrown with trees and bushes and stuff like that. And so we had that storm, trees was all down in that area. So it literally took them a good day and a half, because they were trying to get the big equipment down through there, and it wasn't going to fit. And there's some yards. If you're heading east down there, east to the left, some of the yards have, there's a pretty big dip down there. There's pretty good ledge down through there, and these trucks have to get down the alley, and it was a really tight fit. It was overgrown and bad, so some of the trucks got off and kind of slid down in the yard. They had to call the big tow truck out here. Yeah, it was pretty. It took them almost longer to get the vehicles down the alley, and it was just in time to fix it. So they got all that fixed, and I would say a week and a half later, we had another little storm come through here. Nothing major, and we lost power again for about a day. But at that time, I had somewhat of my stuff here, not too much. All right, guys, that's enough talking for now. This is all the snow that we got. Not really a whole lot. Um, got out this morning. You know, our side roads are. Let me go back here and look at the side roads. We have no sun over here on this side of the building. You can tell we got some ice out there. So it is kind of treacherous on these side roads like normal, like any big town. So, all right, guys, you have a great day. And if you're, stay warm and be careful driving out there. Have a good night.